Welcome back. My name's Tom, and today I've got even more of the Brimfield Flea Market. So let's see what we can find. One of my favorite things to do when it's really hot at Brimfield is to come by this Fender and see all the amazing water fountains he has and all these great statues. So relaxing. And as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I do plan to have a lot more flea market videos coming up. Thanks. So moving from these really relaxing monuments to something a little bit creepier, we've got this Fender here. I guess you'd call this funeraria, is that the right term? Basically funeral memorabilia?
And this is what they would put it on to move it, the trolley or whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw them when they're inside.
Oh, it's a sample, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it has the guy's name, date of birth, and date of death on it.
Yeah. And you get these little jobbies on the end.
Yeah.
To each his own, but I find that really creepy. I could never have anything like that in my house. On the other hand, I'd love to have that Kodak sign hanging from my ceiling. That's awesome.
Interesting.
I like these political posters. They're really trippy, I'd say, really psychedelic. And I'm just not sure, though, if they're original to the time, like from the late 60s, or if they are like modern reproductions. I'm really not sure. That monkey on the ground there kind of looks like the See No Evil monkey. Pretty sure that's what that is. This little robot here on the left caught my eye. It's a Robotron RT2, and when I was at the show, I was thinking this was probably from the 60s or 70s, but I looked it up later. It's actually from 1985. It's made in Hong Kong, and it seems to go for about $15 to $30 online, loose like that. So not as old as I was thinking it was. So here's an example of something that back when they came out in the 1960s, nobody would have thought these were collectible. These are Old Hickory Smokehouse egg cartons, apparently from the 1960s is what I found online. These have obviously never been used. It looks like somebody just found a whole box of them, probably in a warehouse somewhere, stacked away for, who knows, 50, 60 years. Kind of makes me wonder what kind of mundane stuff today will be collectible in 50 or 60 years. You never know. Now, I'm sure to some people that are older than me, these types of soda bottles or pop bottles, whatever you want to call them, don't look that interesting, but they're slightly before my time. I don't ever remember seeing bottles this big. If I did, they would have been when I was a really young kid and I didn't take notice of them. But nowadays, they don't look like anything else, and I just find them really fascinating. especially seeing brands I've never heard of before.
Whoa, look at that chair.
This vendor here had some really interesting stuff. A lot of it was way out of my price range, but it was really
So
cool.
like you used to have over in Avon.
Yep.
The rocking chair.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't pick these up at the time. They were only 50 bucks each, but they look pretty cool. They look almost like something out of 2001: A Space Odyssey, or, you know, some kind of futuristic movie from the 70s. That giant chair is pretty cool. You could probably buy it and then charge people to sit in it and, you know, get their picture taken. But what really caught my eye were these metal statues here.
Hey, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, not much.
You're a fan of the aliens?
A little bit, yeah.
They are made,
Nice.
so any of the metal work you see in our booth here,
Yeah.
it's done by female welders in the Philippines.
Oh.
And it's all
okay.
scrap metal.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a small one, like a real small
Right,
one
right.
like that. But,
Yeah, we had some of them too.
yeah. No, just a little bit out of my price range, but definitely a cool
I get it.
item. Thanks.
He was asking $600 for the Alien. I'm assuming probably about the same for the Darth Vader, and that's just more than I can afford. This awesome blue motorcycle here is a 1976 Honda Trail 70. He's asking $9,500 for it. I looked it up online, and that seems to be about double what they're going for. On eBay, they seem to be selling in about the $4,000 range. Some a little bit lower, but the highest was about maybe almost $5,000. So $9,500 is steep.
And all the boys will be leaving with me.
Here's another one of those awesome metal sculptures from the same vendor. I didn't see a price on this one, but if the Alien was $600, that's got to be at least a few thousand.
I'll save it for you.
Hold on, guys. Come to our. We're in Londonderry. We have a store in Londonderry, a brick and mortar store. It's 25,000 square feet. We've been there for close to 40 years. We just made New Hampshire.
Other than the tank on the back, this truck here reminds me very strongly of Optimus Prime from the Transformers.
There's a custom
Very cool.
card. Yeah, if you want to send me.
Here's another antique motorcycle. I'm not sure what make or model this one is. I didn't see any names on it. It looks like it might have been repainted.
No, I have.
But if anybody knows what that is, definitely let me know in the comments.
Stoneware. Glass. Okay. Yeah, I do think I have. I think I do have stuff like that.
Now, I could be wrong, but I would say most people in their 30s or younger probably don't know what this is. But this is a speaker from a drive-in movie theater. You would actually put that on your window to listen to the movie. I don't think they've used that type of speaker, though, probably since the 80s. After that, I think most drive-in theaters, the ones that are left, went to playing the sound through your radio. I saw this really cool old telephone at the last Brimfield show, and that time it had water pouring out of it. This time it looks like somebody melted a candle on it. So I don't know what's going on with this phone.
Did you ever look up the Diane Tyler's?
No, I haven't been.
So if I were back in the 80s right now, I'd probably be using a camcorder like this to film this flea market. I just think it would be slightly more conspicuous than my tiny little GoPro. Might get a lot more stares with that camera.
They're back to normal.
So as a lot of you may know, I'm kind of a big nerd. I'm really into comics and like science fiction stuff. And I had seen these Batman pins at the last Brimfield show, but I passed them over for some reason. I was probably thinking they were going to be way too expensive, but I was so glad that they were still here this time. And of course, I ended up buying a full set of them. These pins came out in 1989, the same year as the Michael Keaton Batman movie. And because that movie was so popular, they started selling all kinds of Batman memorabilia. And this was one of them. I don't remember seeing these specifically in the store, but they definitely look like something from that time period, without a doubt.
Hi.
Hi.
How much are these? Like the whole
The whole thing
The
is
whole thing.
35.
the whole thing?
Yep.
These are all the same, right?
Yeah, they're all Batman. I had some Ninja Turtles, but they're gone. And it's just to make sure. See, there's 40 pins on here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one's got a little bit of water damage.
Yeah, the box does.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Do the others? Do you think?
No, not all of them do.
So I took like 5 or 10 minutes going through all these, trying to find the one in the best condition, which I finally did. I paid $35 for it, which I thought was a pretty good deal, and I was happy.
Got some water
Good
damage.
times.
Sorry.
So it was really hot at this show, so it was a great time to take a break and have a nice soft serve ice cream.
Hi. Can I have a twist waffle cone?
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
So good. I'm not a huge collector of glass at all, other than I'm kind of getting into uranium glass. But the colors of these glasses just drew me in. I have no idea if any of these are valuable or hard to find, but the colors are just amazing. Those brownish yellow ones, though, definitely look like something my grandmother would have had back in the 70s or 80s. So skip ahead a day. It's now Friday. I'm back at Brimfield by myself. My mom couldn't make it, and we're at Maze. So let's see what they've got for sale. Here's some more cool old antique motorcycles. They seem to have a lot of them at the show this year. And this one here is a 1968 BMW R69 with a sidecar. I was only able to find one online for sale without a sidecar, and it was going for $33,000. He didn't have a price on it, but I would assume the price is probably up there like that. And this other BMW here, I'm not exactly sure what model this one is here. It just says 900cc. So if anybody knows what that is, let me know. According to the tag on this yellow light here, this is a World War II emergency runway light. He was asking $125 for it. I would never have guessed that was World War II. Just based on it being yellow plastic like that, I would have said 60s, 70s at the earliest.
Right in front of us. And I turn around and go
I've said it before, but I really like it when vendors clearly mark the price on their items. And this is the clearest I've ever seen. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is one of those fire grenades. Basically, you would throw this and it would put out a fire. I think that's what it is. Here's somebody's old scrapbook, probably from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And somebody was a big fan of the royal families. And then whoever owned this was a huge fan of Harry S. Truman. And it's kind of amazing when you think how much time went into this. It probably took this person years and years to collect all these newspaper clippings. And obviously they really cared a lot about it. Kind of wonder someday if somebody is going to, buy some of my stuff at a flea market 50 years from now and be like, wow, I can't believe he put this much time into all this Star Wars junk.
Same idea, man.
It'll probably happen.
Guys amongst this group that has those products.
Thank God. I was worried there.
Yeah, right. No. I agree completely with you. Is this the, Oh, no, I'm not. I know I'm not.
I like to be
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have my lesson too. Oh, okay. Me too. I think he has it turned on. I'm actually. Yeah, he tried out by Lemon Street. He tried a couple of places out by you. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be too good in Lemon Street, but Auburn. There wasn't anything available. And then we tried the Route 9 one in Westboro. Nothing available. But Auburn's alright. It's on the way. Yeah. Well, no, because we'll have to pick it up.
I'm a big fan of Boston Terriers, and while this dog's not a Boston Terrier, it's some sort of Bulldog or Bull Terrier, so it's close. But $55 is a little bit more than I'm willing to spend for that.
I'm gonna bring my TV and stuff.
Not saying it's not worth it, it's just more than I want to pay. Here's a bunch of old model kits. And I think I've said it before in some of my videos. I love model kits in theory. I tried building one once when I was maybe 10, and it just ended up being too difficult for me, and I never tried again. But I think if I had unlimited time, I would definitely try to build a model of some sort.
They're all wet from last night. I had to dry them. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of painted eggs. Those have got to be really hard to transport without breaking.
That morning did. Yeah. Wasted everything. Oh, you almost had a double. I think.
Yeah. I came up last night. I got to do my day off.
I'm confused. Oh, this is the sheet for today. Okay.
I would love to have a set of lawn chairs like this. I just think I would break them though. They seem very fragile.
What? Why'd you laugh?
There's a lot more cool stuff I can't afford. This car with trailer, which I'm guessing is probably from the 30s, was $750. Don't know if it's worth that much or not, but it's way more than I can pay. Have to get a lot more views on my videos to afford that kind of stuff. And this red thing here that says air on it is an old air compressor from a gas station. He's asking $1,650 for it. Again, I have no idea if it's worth that much, but I definitely know I can't afford it. The Red, White, and Blue store. I have no idea what that is. Never heard of it. I like these old coolers here, these Coca-Cola and 7-Up ones. Royal Crown Cola. You know, I don't think I've ever had a Royal Crown Cola before, but I've heard that it's not as good as Coke or Pepsi. If anybody's got a clear opinion on that, let me know in the comments. Now, this is definitely uranium ware. I don't need my UV light to know that. And I was seriously considering picking up a couple of these plates here. Most of them are really basic, just like flat plates, but there were a couple like this one here for $20, which kind of looks like a leaf. So it's a bit more elaborate, more like something I might be interested in. And honestly, I can't remember why I didn't end up getting these. I think I probably said I was going to come back at the end of the show and pick them up, and then I just never did. And I've never seen this glass before. A&W, it's some sort of bear. I don't know, is that the A&W mascot? There were never any A&W restaurants around me, so I'm just not familiar with those characters. This statue here is really beautiful, but it looks way too much like a grave marker to me. And I think if I had this in my yard, I would just always have it in the back of my head that there's a grave in my yard. It seems like it's made out of copper, though, not stone. Here's a pretty sweet old Coca-Cola push car. I would guess this is from the 50s. And I'm wondering if this is something you would buy in the store with it saying Coca-Cola on it, or if this was some sort of promotion. Now something a little more modern. Here's an old Apple Macintosh Plus from about, I think it's like the mid-80s or so. I've got one of these at home already. This one's missing the keyboard and mouse, but I love seeing them. I hate Apple as a basic rule, but these I'll make an exception for. And next to it is a old Tandy color computer. That's pretty cool too.
In all the closets?
Oh, I was like, oh, I hope it didn't take, you know.
Like this battery-operated Batman and Robin Batmobile here from the 1997 movie, which was a horrible movie, but the Batmobile looked pretty cool in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you the one selling? I'm never sure who is a customer and who's selling. Okay. Do you have anything you're
I do 225 on the sundial.
Those two green food dogs there are pretty striking. I have no idea if they're actually antiques or not, but they definitely are nice to look at.
Yeah, it wasn't sandblasted, you know, so I didn't sandblast it. Yeah, I just kind of cleaned it up. Yeah,
I think the models under the plastic covers are probably handmade models. I would guess. It looks like somebody set them up like in a diorama. It's pretty cool. It's definitely more advanced than any skills I have at model making.
Oh, are those cute?
I think here's another example of something that back in the day nobody would have thought this would have been a collectible. This Cordite freeze wrap, which the design of the box looks very similar to Reynolds wrap to me, or Reynolds aluminum foil. I'm guessing this is probably from the 60s, maybe 50s. But there's no way somebody back then said, oh, this is something I need to collect. It just somehow got saved.
How much is the elephant? 600. Six. Yeah.
Sign on one.
You have the other test?
No, I don't. And I'm running back and forth.
No, yes.
I'm not a fan of tobacco, but I definitely love the style of these old advertisements.
You won't be able to sleep in the night.
You gotta get pictures of all these oddities.
Now, I wish I had gotten a better picture of this thing lying down here, this suit. It looks very much like a Chinese jade burial suit to me, and I'm assuming that's what it's meant to be. So I'm wondering if this was maybe on display in a museum somewhere, or who knows? I can't think of any other use for it. And there you have it. That's the end of part 5 of the September 2022 Brimfield Flea Market. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.